So welcome back. We are continuing with our lab work on spatial information science, and I am Shahab Fazal from Aligarh Muslim University. Dear participants, we have learned digitizing a map, the point and line entity. As you recall, we have seen that digitization is a process of converting geographic data into digital form. And during this process, spatial data on maps or images are traced as point, line, or even polygons also. In the last session, we created the line entity into digitizing learning. In this session, we would learn the polygon entity, and we would try to explain you as to what care, what consideration you need to take while you are digitizing the polygon or area entity. So for polygon layer creation, again the same process which we adopted for point entity and line entity, we go to the menu bar and we will click on layer, and from layer you need to click on the new shapefile layer, and there you have to select the new vector layer, and this window will open. There you need to select the polygon. Earlier we selected point when we were digitizing point entity, we selected line when we digitized line entity. Now today we would, in this session we would be digitizing polygon entity, so we would be selecting polygon entity. And then as usual, as we have done in the past, you name it, you need to name it. So you may name any name which you want to give to that polygon. For example, if we are dealing with land use of different land use classes you want to depict in the map, in the polygon, these would be the area entity, so you can write here as land use. Then you have to select what kind of attribute information you want to add with this map. So there you have to select either text data or whole number, decimal number, whatever we have discussed at length in our previous session. So you have to select that, and then as many attribute you want to add, you can add here, and when you will click here to add to attribute list, all of them, they would be listed into your attributes, whatever information you want to add. For example, if you are taking land use, then you can add another land use. For example, you can add as attribute of the name, then the another can be its use, area, its value, land value, something like that, and this may be in whole number, in decimal number, whatever would be the representation that you need to identify, and click OK. Then this will appear like this, and then there you need to click on the toggle editing, and there this symbol you need to select. If you recall, for point we had point symbol, for line it was the line symbol, and for area, a polygon, this icon needs to be selected. Now this would be selected only if we have in our previous step, if we would select the polygon entity. If we will select line entity, then this won't appear. If we select point entity, this symbol won't appear. This feature icon will not appear in the digitizing toolbar. So you need to be careful. If it is not appearing, that means what? That means that while you are selecting, creating a new vector layer, you haven't selected appropriate geographical entity, point, line and area. If you have selected point, then this won't appear, and if you have selected polygon, then point and line symbol would not be appearing. So that is what is the basic thing which you need to remember. So then you start digitizing. For example, here I have digitized few polygons. Now there is one more important thing which you need to keep in mind. For digitizing polygon, you need to start from one side and continue in the one direction. I would suggest you to move in anti-clockwise direction. So if there is any polygon, you start from one point and go on whatever exaggeration or simplification you want to do, you do it, but you start from one point and end at the same point, and then you right click it, there the polygon would be completed. If you do not follow either clockwise or anti-clockwise route, then you may find some difficulty. Why? Because then one polygon would be overlapping another, and in that case you will have a false polygon would be created within one larger polygon. So you need to be a little cautious. As I am saying, when you would be digitizing, you would learn that you need to start from one side, either in clockwise direction or the anti-clockwise direction, and keep on moving from one direction to another and complete the area polygon at the same point where you have started, and then right click the button, and that way the polygon would be created, and then you need to insert the different attribute information which you want to do there. So that is what the basic principle of digitizing the polygon. So this you would digitize, and then there is one more finer point which I would say, especially in the context of polygon layer creation. In line layer creation also, I mentioned that you need to specify the tolerance limit. Here also you need to not only specify the tolerance limit, but you need to activate this enable snapping toolbar. This tool is very important while you are digitizing the polygon. So this you can see, it's like magnet. It is appearing like as magnet. You have to enable it, and if it is not visible in your toolbox, then you go to view, and there, or rather in the toolbar menu, you just right click the button, and there would be pull down of many tools which would be available. You just select the enable snapping toolbar, and when you will select this will appear. Now it's very interesting, and I'll try to show you that what is the use of this enable snapping. Because you see, polygons, there can be many polygons, and many polygons would be close to each other. There would be common boundaries also of two different land use classes or two different entities, area entities. They would be sharing the common boundary. So this common boundary, if you digitize twice, then there would be some space in between. If you recall, we talked about topology. So this topology would be little difficult to explain as to what is in between these two polygons. So for that matter, we need to have enable snapping, and there are many options. I'll just very quickly, I'll try to explain you that. For example, these 3-4 options would be appearing. For example, this would be about allow overlapping. So if there is a smaller polygon which have the proximity of another polygon which has common boundary, so what we will do, we will take the larger polygon and we will click inside it, and wherever it is intersecting the line, and we will end up the polygon formation at the other end also. So what it will do, it will take the middle line as the common line. It won't go beyond that. So that way, this is one option for not digitizing twice the common boundary. Then another can be the enable tracing. This one. This, if you click this, it will appear as this enable tracing. Now, if the polygons have common boundary, instead of digitizing twice, we can digitize only one. But for that, you need to select this also. This would result into enable snapping at intersection. So you see, that will indicate, if you will select this also while enabling tracing, then the system will give you indication about where are the vertices which can be common. So these vertices would be highlighted. So from which vertex to which vertex you want to trace, that will be easily done. So that's another interesting aspect which you need to keep in mind. All in all, I would say that this is one very important section of our learning on spatial information. In the lab, we are trying to know, learn, understand as to how different ground realities of the earth can be depicted on the system, through the system in digital format, and we can create a map ourselves of any phenomena which you want to represent using the spatial information.